Hi, I am Misty Wilson, and I am going to be presenting for you the book Shifting the Monkey by Todd Whitaker for my leadership project. And so this is just a great book. It has a wealth of ideas for leaders who manage people or deal with people, and even just some normal, common, everyday things that I think you will enjoy. So let's get into it. Shifting the monkey. So, what are monkeys? So, Mr. Whitaker helps us understand that monkeys are the responsibilities and obligations and problems we deal with every day, and most of us can handle our fair share of monkeys. The problem comes when we are dealing with monkeys that are not ours or monkeys that are not where they're supposed to be. And when that happens, things can be negatively impacted. So, how do you deal with it? So, manager monkey business occurs when managers have to deal with monkeys that are out of place, that are not in the right spot. And it occurs a lot because sometimes it is just easier for a manager to say, okay, somebody's not pulling their weight. Let me just have so and so deal with that, or I'll just deal with it. It's easier to not get in the weeds with a person who is the negative person or the slacker, because it just brings more drama, more work, more chaos. And sometimes you're just like, okay, I'll just do it myself. The problem with that is you continue to have the work because once a poor performer knows that they can shift that monkey to others, they're going to keep doing it. They're getting out of the work, or they're getting the result that they want by putting that monkey there. So, what I have done is come up with my top 10 list of ways that leaders can shift the monkey from Todd Whitaker's book. However, there are a lot of great nuggets in here for leaders and leadership. I just picked 10. They are really, it's kind of, he has the book broken down into categories. I didn't put everything in the categories. I just picked some that I thought would be really great for any leader, to help you really explain the premise of the book, and things that you could take away and walk away with and really implement as soon as possible. However, there are probably many more in here there are many more in here that I just couldn't get into my top 10 or into my slideshow presentation. But if it piques your interest, then I would suggest it's a quick and easy read, very common sense, things that you truly can apply. So let's get into this top 10. You ready? Number 10. Constantly check for monkeys. A good leader has to check for monkeys in every situation. So remember, monkeys are those responsibilities and things that we automatically have to take care of. You have to ask yourself, where is the monkey and where should it be? And sometimes you have to realize that monkeys are hidden. As a leader, you know that there's an undercurrent of things or things that you don't know about. And so you have to make sure that you're aware. And if you don't know about if there is a monkey or something that's going on in a situation, ask for help. Somebody will come forth and tell you what's really going on. Number 9, treat everyone well. And this is one of the hardest ones because, sometimes they're just bad people that you don't like, people who are doing shady things. And I hate to say you don't like them, but sometimes you just get a vibe for people that is not your favorite. Mm, you got to treat everybody well. Because when you treat everybody well, it validates the good and responsible people, and it'll make those people who are slackers, who are uncomfortable, or who are not doing their job, they're irresponsible, it'll make them uncomfortable, hopefully. Number 8, don't. This is one of my favorites. Don't punish everyone for the misdeeds of a few. So we call this the blanket monkey. And it's kind of like that thing where, okay, people are running late. A few people are running late behind. And then the principal sends out an email to their whole staff about being on time. Well, that takes the monkey and puts the monkey on the backs of the good employees who have been arriving on time all year. So they're starting to think, okay, wait a minute, was I a few minutes late the other day? Or, well, I did come in late, but my tire was. And so it really gets the good employees really thinking about, okay, what's going on? The bad employees, the one who's late, probably didn't even read the email or doesn't think it applies to them, or, oh, it's not just me that's late, everybody's late. So it makes you, it really doesn't solve your problem. You need to make sure that you start dealing with those issues one and head on with the people that it applies, so it doesn't just go right over the head, and doesn't address the issue that you needed to. Number 7, don't engage in conversations about excuses. And this is one I have to learn, trying to empathize with people, trying to be a servant leader. So you've asked somebody to do something, they come back, well, I couldn't do it because my daughter had a game, and then my dog got shot, and the garage door opener won't come. If you start listening to that and talking about that, you're really feeding into their excuses. They're going to keep coming up with more. They're going to take you off down a rabbit hole that you cannot come back from. And so you just have to, after they go over through all of that, okay, and when are you going to get that report done? So just, don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't engage in those excuses. Get straight to the point. And after a while, they'll quit giving you the excuses because they know you won't take them. Emphasize the good. So there are a lot of times when things aren't going wrong, it feels like 90% of people can be doing good, and those to that 10%, it just feels so heavy and it takes so much of your time that sometimes you forget to emphasize the good. So by doing that, you focus on the people or the employees who are doing the right thing. So if 90% of people are getting there on time, celebrate and recognize and thank those people publicly who are doing the right thing, and don't focus on the 10%. Don't blast everybody and kill the morale by really focusing on the 10% of people, blanket monkeying them. They don't even realize that you're not that they're the problem that you're trying to address, but you've just beat everybody else down. So this is just a different way of reframing that and looking at it in a different light. Number 5 is focus on actions rather than results. And this could be tricky because you're like, wait a minute. You can't change a person's mind, but you can change their behavior. So, if you have somebody who, they don't want to offer good customer service, they're just a negative Nelly, that's how they are. You might not be able to change that person's demeanor. You're gonna try, you can give them some feedback, but if you can change their actions, you can get to the result. So by having the conversation, these coaching conversations, and giving them some key steps to do, you might not be able to change their mind. They might not like it that they're having to offer good customer service, but you can change their behavior, and therefore changing that behavior will change the result and get you the result that you're looking for, hopefully. And if it doesn't, then you've done your due diligence and you're leading them on the path to get someone in who can. Number 4 is sidle up when you're dealing with negative people. And sidling up means being side by side with them in situations where you can. So difficult people like conflict. Some people thrive on it. They just love it. They want to come in there and throw you off your game. But if you cannot put something between you and the negative person or the difficult person, it takes away this barrier that they're automatically setting up to be adversarial. So when you have a desk there, when you have a table there, it is drawing a line, and it's putting them right in the war zone where they want to be like, oh yeah, buddy, it's me against you. Come on, I gotcha. But take that away, get right next to them, sit next to them, and really listen to their story, hear what they have to say. It removes that adversarial barrier when you can. You always have to think about your safety and how you address things. But in situations, especially if it's staff members and personnel, most of the time you can be in a situation where you can be side by side and not feel at risk or a threat. Try it. Number 3. Oh, I like this one. This one is treat lies as the truth. Because sometimes there are times when you are pretty doggone sure that an employee may not be telling you the truth. So how do you respond? In an affirmative way. So Jackie comes in. Jackie, where's your report? Oh man, Miss Tina told me I didn't have to do that report. Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know she shared that. You know what? I'm going to talk to Miss Tina about that, because that wasn't my expectation. No, 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 no worries. I'll follow up with Miss Tina, and I'll ask her about that, and we'll get this straightened out. So now you treated them. You haven't accused them of lying. You're pretty sure that they are, though, but you haven't accused them straight out of lying. But you kind of affirmed them. said, okay, yeah, I'm taking you at your word. I'm gonna deal with this another way. And more than likely, if they are not being honest, you're gonna find out, or it should make them pretty uncomfortable. They'll probably come up with some other excuse. Oh well, maybe not, maybe because they don't want to put that person under the gun. So, but just it's a part of treating everybody well. So you just treat them as if they're telling the truth and not calling them out on that lie, unless it's a situation where you definitely have to. Protect your good people is number two. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? When you have people who are working for you or working with you, you're collaborating, you want to protect your good people. And so the way you do that is by making sure only the most important monkeys are on their back. You're not giving them extra duties and taking away a slacker's responsibility and giving it to them. You let them know what's not their job when they're taking on extra things that they're not supposed to. Help them learn how to set and create boundaries. We're losing educators at a insurmountable rate just because things keep getting added, and nothing's taken away. And so you may have to help them prioritize. And because when we're dealing with kids' education too, we just can't drop everything. But you make it clear that the slackers too are your responsibility. So if there's somebody on the team who's not pulling their weight, and they've tried some measures on their own, then you may have to intervene in that and not having them own that as well. Oh, and my number one, when it comes down to some of the great ideas and techniques that Todd Whitaker shares in this book, managing difficult people requires you as the leader to manage yourself first. And by that, he means you got to be aware of your pet peeves and monitor your mannerisms when you're dealing with some of these things so that you don't come off one way or the other. You're going to come off treating people well. You can't be rolling your eyes when they're telling you something and all of that, because that's going to definitely communicate something very different. And so there are going to be some times where you need to learn to ignore some of these responses and excuses and things like that. And then you have to also know when do you have to respond so that you can shift the monkey back to where it needs to be. And always, always, always check for the monkeys, because they're there. Monkeys are normal. We're supposed to have some monkeys. It's when those monkeys get out of place that we need to really get them shifted back in the right place with some of these techniques that Todd Whitaker has shared. Um, there it is. There's the top 10. That's a list of a few of them, and a brief synopsis. If you want to know more, please check out Shifting the Monkey. It's a great read, one of my all-time favorites. Great for leaders. But he goes way more in depth. It's a quick and easy read, but it is very valuable, 100%. The other thing I would say is that he does share in here about specific monkeys and tells you ways to avoid them, and how to shift them back where they're supposed to be. So check out Shifting the Monkey by Todd Whitaker. Thank you for listening.